Right, so hello and welcome back to another 90 Day The Single Life video on Arthur TV. Today we're back for part 3 of Big Ed's journey on the second season of the series. So last time out we looked at what seemed to be the conclusion of Ed's relationship with Mia. At the end of a painfully awkward first date in which he cried over his ex, Big Ed told Mia that he liked her to no response before asking if she'd like to go on a second date, to which she replied with a very hesitant maybe. At the end of the night, Big Ed dropped her off and threw up a peace sign in what was an overwhelmingly platonic goodbye. It's now the day after that nightmare of a first date, and Big Ed is about to sit down with his mum Norma to reflect on the night's events.
So you didn't tell me how your date went yesterday.
Her name is Mia. She's 42.
42, that's a good age.
And it felt really good to be sitting across on a date with an adult.
That's quite a creepy thing to say because it kind of implies that he didn't see Liz or Rose as adults when he was dating them. I mean, I obviously know that someone aged 42 is going to be in a very different stage of their life than someone who's 23 or 28, but it says a lot about how he was viewing them when he was in a relationship with them. And either way, to be a 56-year-old man and exclaim that you're dating an adult for once is just such a weird thing to do.
I'm hopeful, but I've been texting her, kind of a lot, and she's not responding. She's kind of ghosting me, so I don't even know if there'll be a second date.
Give it time, maybe she'll call you back, or maybe she's not the one.
I love how he says he's been texting her a lot and she just hasn't been responding. Like he sent her 10 messages and she hasn't replied to any one of them and he still hasn't got the idea. I thought he had got the hint at the end of the date, but apparently not. This woman has absolutely no interest whatsoever in seeing him again, does she? I just don't understand how he can get pied on the date, have all of his messages aired, and then still say he's hopeful.
Think of this experience, how much you learned. Now you know that you're looking for somebody closer to your age. So start dating again, look for somebody perhaps Latino like me. Latino women are faithful to their husbands. That's so important. That's what you want. That's what I'm wishing for you.
Norma is such a little sweetheart, but I wonder if part of the reason that Big Ed is so intense with women is all this pressure she puts on him to get married again. I mean, I know she's trying to just ease the blow a little bit, but the fact that she's talking about whether Mia might have been the one or not is just kind of mad, isn't it? Like, he should just be out there trying to have a fun evening and getting to know her, without all this pressure of trying to figure out if he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. With all this talk of finding a wife, the fact that Ed rushes relationships along really quickly is kind of less surprising.
He should find a Latino woman. Not that I wanted to tell him what to do or who to like or who to love, but a Latino woman is more willing to have a marriage that's unified, that believes in the sanctity of marriage, like my mom and dad were.
It's a nice thought, but does she not know what happened in Ed's first marriage? They literally got divorced because Ed was unfaithful. And to make matters even worse, his wife was also the mother of his child when he cheated on her. With that in mind, I'm not sure it's going to be that easy for him to just find someone with values like that. Because if you're a loyal person that believes in the sanctity of marriage, why would you get into a relationship with someone who's violated that sanctity the only time they've ever been married?
I'm not always going to have my mom, and I don't want to die alone. I'm over the young ones, the attractiveness. I want something that's real, that's not going to fade.
A wife that respects you. That's what I want for you.
I want that too.
I love how he says he's finally over the young ones and the attractive ones. Like he's finally realised his self-worth and clocked onto the fact that if a girl is young or attractive and she's interested in him, it's probably not for the right reasons. His mum definitely seems to be influencing his thinking though, because he's kind of bought into the idea of getting a Latina partner. And to help him find one, he's decided to FaceTime his friend from Mexico called Laura.
As you know, I haven't been able to meet the one. Now I'm ready to really explore my mom's culture, and which is my culture. So if you know someone that you think might be a good partner, and let me take care of them, and give them the world.
If I had a single friend, literally the last thing I would ever do would be to set them up with Big Ed. He's not going to give them the world, he's going to give them relationship trauma that will take years of therapy to recover from.
You know, I am thinking about one of my friends. Maybe she could be a good match with you.
Really?
Yeah, her name is Kaori, and she's very sweet. She's very creative.
She's a writer and a poet.
Poor Kaori, how can she do this to her? This isn't even just someone she knows, this is her childhood friend and neighbour. If this turns out how we all expect it to, how is she ever going to look her in the eyes ever again? I reckon she's doing it for revenge. I reckon Kaori's been stealing her mail or having loud house parties late into the night. Because dooming someone to a life containing Big Ed is not something friends do to each other.
Let me see if I can contact her.
Wait,
Let me see.
wait, how do I look? Wait a minute, do I look?
Wait.
How's my hair? Laura's like, okay, let's do it. Let's FaceTime with Kaori, and I'm nervous. I'm so nervous.
She's ready. Are you ready?
How does this guy actually get this many dating opportunities? He was just on a date with a seemingly nice and attractive woman, and literally a day later and he's being hooked up with a Latina who's a writer and a poet. Like, am I missing something? Also, he dated Liz and Rose who are out of his league, and apparently in between them he had sugar babies in Las Vegas. I mean, I know he's got a fair amount of fame and money, but if he didn't have the personality of a tranquilized blobfish, this man would be a modern day Hugh Hefner.
Hello?
Hola.
Hola.
Hola. How are you?
How are you doing, Kaori? Am I saying your name right?
Kaori. Yes.
Kaori. Kaori.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Oh, yay.
This guy is so weird. Why did he spend half of that introduction calling her Coyote? The whole name pronunciation thing just went on for far too long. On a side note, on top of being a poet and a writer, Kaori seems nice and she's quite attractive, and she definitely appears younger than 56. If that turns out to be true, I guarantee all the stuff Big Ed said about no longer wanting to date younger attractive women will turn out to be such a load of rubbish.
So Laura tells me that you're single.
I'm single, very single.
But you're so beautiful. Muy bonita.
Oh, thank you. Very handsome. I like your hair.
See?
And your canas blancas, the white hair.
You see? Oh, gracias. Okay. Más. I'm just kidding.
You're so ego.
Yes.
This is so classic. In the last video, we spoke about Mia seeing right through Ed when she said that he'd rather be in a toxic relationship than be single. And now Kaori's done the exact same thing by identifying his ego problems straight away. See, this is the problem he has dating women closer to his own age. They're perhaps not quite as inexperienced or naive as they might have been in their 20s, and his numerous red flags are going to be easy to spot if they've come across them before.
From the moment I got on the phone with Kaori, I feel a real connection with her and some sparks. She's beautiful. She's not too tall, and her view of the world is a lot different than mine. You know, I'm walked away from my last relationship wounded, I'll be quite honest, so I'm still a little bit raw. So I want somebody that's sweet and nice, and someone that's really going to give me attention. And that someone could be Kaori.
Poor Kaori, what sins did she commit in a past life that led fate to bring her here? I don't know, maybe it'll end up being a blessing. I mean, if she ends up in any kind of relationship with Big Ed, she'll have inspiration for her writing and poetry for the rest of her life. I guess it's good for us too that Ed's such an unpredictable menace, because if he wasn't the way he is, this storyline would get so boring. Literally every girl he meets, he claims there's a spark or a special connection, or that she might be the one, and it's so repetitive. I swear the only reason that the majority of us watch this is because you know that inevitably he's going to spectacularly screw it all up.
I was raised Catholic, but no mucho religion, only I pray every day.
This is good because God is not a religion. God could be any form.
For me, Kaori, you seem very grounded. So maybe you can teach me to be more grounded.
Of course. Encantada.
Encantada.
He does actually need grounding really quite badly, so maybe this isn't a bad idea. After that leaked phone call came out, I've always kind of suspected that Big Ed is a lot more sinister off camera than he appears. Like, it genuinely wouldn't surprise me if he was the type of guy to get rejected by women and then go home and microwave hamsters. So given months of therapy doesn't seem to have helped him, if there is a God, maybe this is his only hope.
Kaori is actually exactly what I need in my life. So I want to stay connected. I want to keep tension on the lead, okay, which means stay in touch, reach out. So I'm going to text her probably every other day just to say hello, how's your day going? Que Dios te bendiga.
Take care.
Gracias. I want to get to know her on every level and perhaps maybe go visit her one day.
You know, as far as first encounters go, other than repeatedly mispronouncing her name, that wasn't so bad. He's definitely doing a classic Big Ed and being way too intense already, talking about messaging her every other day, going to visit her, whether she's the one, and getting to know her on every level, whatever that means. But at least he didn't tank it like he did with Mia. That being said, it's almost inevitable that he will do so at some point, and I have no doubt it will be just as entertaining as the first 200 times we watched him do it. So if you want to catch the next video and maybe watch that happen, make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out. As always, the links to my Instagram, Twitter and other social media will be down below, and I would just like to say a very quick thank you to my Patreons and channel members. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.